NASA knows a secret about you. The U.S. government has a secret about you. The elite have a secret about you. There's a reason that black cells are literally in outer space. Your royal DNA cellular bloodline is filled with the God particle, but it lies dormant within you. Beloved, my name is Vicki Dillard. I received supernatural insight concerning your messenger DNA code from a supernatural messenger. If you're not supernatural, this isn't for you, but if it's for you, you don't want to miss my ancestral messenger DNA code activation part 2 on the most magical day of the year. Don't miss it. The link is below. Signs and wonders follow. Don't miss it. 12/12/21 is your day to ascend into your God particle. Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm pleased to be a contributor here on our worldwide network African Diaspora News channel. Please make sure that you give the broadcast a big thumbs up and share. Thank you so much. I wanted to share this story with you, family. I want you to listen to this. This is an excerpt from Fox 2 Detroit, rather. Fox 2 Detroit. It says, police received an anonymous tip that 2 massage parlors, Green Massage Center and Chinese Body Works, listen to that name, were actually soliciting sex work in their establishments. After investigating, authorities discovered Lee Yu-Hong Ching and 5 others were running a prostitution ring that operated both in person and online. Wow, they had some nerve. The women disguised their businesses as a massage parlor, but in reality, they were given happy endings left and right, according to this. All 6 women were arrested and charged for multiple crimes. Y'all listen. Including keeping place for purpose of prostitution, accepting earnings of a prostitute, prostitution, aiding and abetting prostitution, use of computer to commit crime with penalties ranging from 20 years to 90 days in prison. Now, why am I covering this? I'm covering this, beloved, because I was on the front lines, and I believe I was one of the first ones to break the news that when they were telling us that it was a white supremacist attack on Asian people in Georgia, when they said there were multiple Asian spies. And remember when the media immediately went out, even when they said they were waiting to get the information. Y'all know I don't cape for no white supremacists now. But before the facts were in, they were already saying that it was a white supremacist attack on the Asian community. I got an anonymous tip from some brothers. I received a tip from brothers that told me that that area was a sex prostitution ring. I started doing some research, digging it up, and I was one of the first ones in the new black media that started to put that out there based on credible information that I received after I got that tip from black men. Shout out to my brothers. So it was brothers that told me that they were familiar with that area and said, So I started to look into it. And what did the media do? Before all the facts in, right? The media rushed out, including Black Atlanta Mayor Keisha Bottoms with her funny looking self. Remember, Joanne Reed, all the black bootlicks was running out there caping, immediately saying that this was some attack on the Asian community and all that. Then we find out that law enforcement, somebody look it up, law enforcement, the receipts, when you look at the spas, majority of those spas had already gotten in trouble with the law. They were under investigation, and actually there were some arrests made in some of those spas because they were operating prostitution rings, suspicion of prostitution rings and things interrelated to that. Isn't that something? Why is it that we're not talking about? And then they talked about how some of them were illegal immigrants that came here, Asian illegals that knew that they were illegal. The establishments they were in, they were willing to stay there. They were willing to take $2 and $3. They was all this kind of stuff, knowing they were here to violate the law. But yet the white media and their black bootlicks didn't tell you that these had to do with credibly alleged Asian lawbreakers. And there were actual arrests, actual criminal investigation into some of these establishments that they said was just an attack on them. Nobody pushed that these were criminals in many cases and possible criminal establishments. Now we're seeing that this is a pattern. Now, I told you all before there was any evidence, I told you guys that the fact that they're trying to frame black people as the ones attacking the Asian communities, which we found out was a big fat lie for the most part, that the majority of the so-called attacks were from white people, and it was a handful. How many of y'all know that the FBI report came out and showed that statistically in some places that the Asian numbers in terms of quote unquote attacks were still minute or minuscule compared to other numbers, and that it was almost in some cases statistically no difference, and that the number one group that were attacked was still Black people. I told y'all early on, before Joe Biden openly backstabbed Black people, before they gave Asians protections, legal protections, and before the government redirected $50 million just for their community, I told y'all they were setting it up so that they could get a bag. I told you guys that because of the global plague, they were losing money, and Black folks disproportionately benefit a lot of Asian businesses. And before that, it was Black people that would finally start to wake up to hold some of these Asian establishments accountable for attacking Black folks. And we were shutting down some of their establishments even before the you-know-what started. So I told you guys that because they were going to Congress and because they were going to need a bag, Congress and the media collaborated to create the impression that they were they were on that we were trying to attack them. And the reason why they weren't holding white people accountable for those 2 and 3 attacks that may have occurred, they did it because they knew they were going to those very white people to ask them for money. So they knew that they didn't want to call them white supremacists. So they blamed Black folks instead. And that's how they got both Republicans and Democrats to give them a bag and legal protections. Y'all know the Democrats in America and the Republicans in America don't agree on nothing. So how is it that almost overwhelming support for both parties pushed through that legislation for them? Is it because white supremacist political parties and white supremacist America benefits? Talk Black to me. We want to know how come they're not getting all this work for all these criminal illegals that are coming from these countries. And we're giving you all receipts that this is happening. This is a pattern throughout the country. And nobody is calling them out for it. Talk Black to me. Family, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. But more importantly, I want you to go to my website today. Mark your calendars for the most magical day of the year. Sunday, December 12th, 12/12/21. Listen to those numbers, 12/12/21. Some of you all don't know that numbers have vibrations and there's some magic to it. There's a spiritual meaning to it. I'm getting ready to conduct my second Ancestral DNA Code webinar. The first one was an absolutely amazing event. And those that attended are still getting breakthroughs, and you're just getting started. But when you're a spiritual person, you know that you want to layer your spiritual work so that you can continue to increase and grow and not just affect your life today, but tomorrow, 15 years down the road, 20 years down the road, and your lineage. This particular one, not only do I want to continue to clean up our bloodline and to break down your cellular DNA melanin power and continue to explain to you why it is that your Black cells are in outer space and why they're using it in technologies and why white nations conducted whole meetings, annual meetings for many years just on melanin. But we're going to have wealth codes activated. I'm bringing in a special Black guru. Travels all over the world. He's going to release a special wealth code in addition to what I'm going to bring. You know it's going to be intergalactic, out of this world. If you want to get in on this for you and your lineage, go now to my website at onpurposewithvicki.com. Go to purchase store and secure your spot today. Let me tell you something that I also want to say. I don't want this just for the up and out, for everybody to benefit from concerning your royal bloodline of vault codes. Yes, I want you to benefit. But I also want you to know that if you've got some family members that are in prison, if you've got some family members that have been accused of the unthinkable, I want to heal your bloodline. Some of the things that some of you are ashamed of, you want to get that healed. Some of the stuff that's running our bloodlines has to do with the fact that we have been under, in some instances, thousands of years, but most intensely for hundreds of years, a disgusting oppressor who has made our people other than themselves. In other words, we have been our own worst enemy in some instances. I want to clean up that bloodline. If you've got someone that's in prison, some criminal stuff, even if there's some ancestral stuff, yes, I said it, because I want to clean up the most disgusting parts of our society, spiritually, metaphysically. This is for you. And watch, miracles and wonders are going to take place. If you want to stand in the gap for a family member, a loved one, before we go to do physical work, we got to do metaphysical work. Talk back to me. Before we just deal with stuff in the natural, we got to deal with stuff supernaturally. I want to clean us up for real. Everything you see came from everything that you can't see. That means that everything starts in the spirit realm. So if you do your work in the spiritual realm, ultimately it's going to manifest, and you're going to have greater agency, and you'll have more control over the natural realm. You better get on in this today. Instead of buying a bunch of Christmas gifts and the other holiday gifts, let this be your holiday gift. Watch, it's going to change your money. It's going to change your life. onpurposewithvicki.com. That's my website. Get your spot today. I can't wait to see you there.
Colonization never ended in the white supremacist system. And as we see today, the colonization is in the mind. Now, those who have been enslaved and those who have been colonized, we're still dealing with the remnants of that through the colonization of the mind. Pick up my book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, and we will help deprogram you from the colonization that was put upon you by generations and generations of white supremacy. You can pick it up today on Amazon.com.